Hello, today we're going to talk about book cover type. All right, and when we're talking about this, we're going to talk about making sure that it's integrated in the cover, that the type is, making sure that it's clear, there's a lot of clarity involved, and any extra little things here that are needed. So, book cover type. All right, integrated. The first thing to think about is making sure that it's part of the layout. So I have some examples that I'll be using. Here's one, children's book, The Snowy Day. Snowy Day feels the same as this white here. There's a place given for it. There's a definite size chosen for it compared to the size of the character. Snowy Day, this is definitely integrated in. Different type of integration here. John Steinbeck's The Winter of Our Discontent. They used a painting and they chose the area where they were going to put the author and title. Okay, gave it a little box. You would say maybe that's not integrated, but they planned out where this would be, the location of it, and arranged it with the painting as well. Here is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This one, very, very integrated. And the Goblet of Fire, as you can see, hopefully is illustrated by the illustrator who did the cover. And Harry Potter, yes, but do you see that there's like a little overlap here, and the author J.K. Rowling there in the bottom. So this is, do you see the way that is integrated? Let me see if there's another example I can show here. The Giving Tree. Ooh, there's a glare there. The Giving Tree focuses on the tree giving to this child, and so place the title over on this side with the author in order to make the focus more on the illustration. When you are integrating, making sure it's part of the layout, what I do is I use type that's already there. So I use a font, I type it out, print it out, and that's what I start drawing on as part of my sketching. And so you can see this is a typographer spent thousands of hours creating this type. I arranged it a little bit, and now I am drawing on it and using it to sketch out what my book cover is going to be. This, integration is important to think about, especially if it fits the tone, which is the next part. So making sure your type is integrated, make sure it fits the tone of the book. Harry Potter, there's lots of these little serifs. The letters aren't the same size. Fits the not whimsical, but the tone of it. Much more serious book, straightforward type, fits that tone better. The second part to think about is the clarity, which I love. The first note is legibility, which I wrote in an illegible way. But thinking about the legibility of it, again, they knew that you needed to read this, so they put it on a background there. Same with The Snowy Day, white against this orange. Here's one, I have James and the Giant Peach here. This has actually a legibility issue here with this dark line and the D and the A and the L and the D. It's a lot easier to read these other ones that are against a simpler background, either here or here. They did James the Giant Peach with this band for that reason. Okay, so you need to make sure it's readable. So usually having less things behind it that are distracting. Okay, and here's another thing I want to point out with the Giving Tree. Outlining your fonts like this make it less easy to read. So I would not have done that here. I would have left it white. Hierarchy, something to think about here. I will show you, again, The Snowy Day. They made sure the size of the title fit with the size of the actual layout, the major images, parts of the image that were there, and then the author and illustrator here is smaller. That gives you an idea. You know that this is the title. You know that this is the author. Sometimes it's switched around depending on the author. John Steinbeck is bigger here than the title because that's the selling point. It's the most important thing. Roald Dahl is extreme there. So hierarchy, think of the whole image and then how big the title needs to be in comparison to other things. Okay, let's see. The last thing is just extra stuff. So I'll again show you Roald Dahl. So it has not just the author and title, but this is the world's #1 storyteller. Has the illustrator on here because that's important, penguin logo. And then if you look, sometimes there's other parts of the design that's going to be even more type that you might be involved with if you're the illustrator, say if the illustrator's more involved. You can see this kind of thing. So remember that it's not just the title, it's not just the author. There are sometimes other things to consider. Okay, so again, book cover type, make sure it's integrated. Okay, part of the layout, make sure it fits the tone. Make sure it's clear, legible, and that you're using the biggest parts and in relation to each other to get the idea across of what's most important, and then any extra stuff you need. The most important of all of this is making sure in your sketching phase and in your thumbnail phase that you're including where the title is going to be, that it is part of everything. You're saying, okay, I have branches, I have a character, this is the size that I wanted the title. Maybe if I work on this a little bit and I'm not happy with the hierarchy, I would go back in on the computer and shrink or enlarge other parts that I've already drawn. So the biggest thing, making sure that it is integrated from the beginning. Doing that will be the most important part of integrating type. Okay. Second most important thing, use a font that already exists. Don't try to hand letter it unless it's something you've practiced a lot.